Hey bio students, I just wanted to make a quick video explaining your final exam for this class. So for this final exam, it won't be a traditional final exam. You're actually going to be writing a children's story on a topic of your choice. The story could be in book form, or it could be in animated video form, or any other idea you might have. So this is the document you're going to want to download from Schoology and put it in Notability. It has all the guidelines and all the criteria for creating your children's story. And I'm going to walk you through it now. So if you want to download it and put it in Notability, please do so. I'm going to start by reading the introduction at the top, and then I'll kind of take you through the assignment. So it says, the bio teachers need your help. Their sons and daughters need something educational to read, and we need you to help us. From chemical bonds to the biosphere, we've learned a lot this year. Your final project will focus on you choosing one topic you found the most intriguing and creating a story that will fascinate and entertain a young child while also being educational. So your tasks are going to be to choose one topic or one concept that we covered this year. If you need a little help, in this table right here, you can see all the topics we covered first semester and second semester, and you can choose either first or second semester. Okay, so even though this is your second semester final, you may choose one from first semester if you'd like. You're going to create an illustrated or animated original story that's appropriate from anyone from age kindergarten to fifth grade. Your story has to focus on some biological concept, so from the table below. So if you've ever read the Lorax or seen like the Magic School Bus, those would be good examples of a children's story that is focusing on a biological concept. So if you've never seen those before, these are actually links right here to videos of those, so check those out. And I'll also be sharing some examples of some past student stories as well as one I created myself. So for this assignment, you want to be creative. You're creating an illustrated children's book, or it could also be an animated video. And you want to make sure you're combining fascinating facts with also a creative storyline. Your story, in whatever form it is, must include both words and pictures. If you're not an artist, you don't have to draw the pictures yourself. If you want to use clip art images to create an image in your book, that's fine. Here are some possible formats. So I've said an illustrated children's book would be probably the one that most students have chose in the past when we've done this project. You could also create an educational movie, but again, geared towards younger kids. And there's some other options there's too, like a music video, a day in the life, any other ideas you have, just run it by me if it's not on that list. Here's some app suggestions. So whether you're creating a website, if you wanted to do some podcasts geared towards children, maybe you want to make a comic book, if you want to make a video, explain everything is a good option. If you are going to gear towards the illustrated children's book, Book Creator is a great app to really easily create a book with both pictures and words. And then, of course, if you have another app that you'd like to use, you're more than welcome to use that as well. Okay, so now I want to take you through the guidelines and the rubric. So the guidelines for your story, it must be in the age range for somebody who's kindergarten to fifth grade. Your story must have a beginning, a middle, and a conclusion. So in the beginning, you want to introduce your main character in whatever form they may be. The setting of your story must be introduced. And then here is where you're going to first mention your biological concept that you're focusing on as creatively as you can. And in that story, in the beginning, you want to include at least 3 to 4 concept-specific details or vocab words. So kind of subtly fit them in the beginning of your story. Whatever topic you've chosen, kind of insert 3 different specific details or vocabulary words. If you're picking something from first semester, I'm going to give you access to all the Quizlet sets. So if you need a little inspiration and you don't really remember all the vocabulary terms from that particular unit, Quizlet might help you. And then, of course, you have to have some dialogue since it's a story between the main character and some other characters as well. Next, the middle of your story should have some kind of conflict that involves the main character. And then again, your biological concept, whatever you've chosen to focus on, you have to include 3 to 4 more concept-specific details or vocab words in the middle of your story as well. And then, of course, you're going to have some more dialogue between your main character and other characters. Next, your conclusion. You want to have a resolution to the conflict. Again, more dialogue between your main character and your other characters. And then probably some type of moral of the story is being explained at the end of your book. What did the character learn? What happened with the biological concept that you chose? That kind of thing. There's also an extra credit option that I wanted to point out to you. If you can connect 2 or more concepts from this year to each other in your story, you know, perhaps relating photosynthesis to another topic we learned about in the year, or maybe relating climate change, if that's what you're focusing on, human impact, to other concepts we learned this year. If you can interweave multiple units from biology into your story, you will get some extra points. Vocabulary usage, remember, don't just throw a bunch of vocabulary and definitions into your story. This is meant for children. So you have to kind of creatively use those words in there. Use examples or metaphors to describe the action or the process you're trying to learn. And then, of course, grammar and spelling. Make sure you proofread your story, that there's no grammar or spelling errors. And of course, don't use any abbreviations for anything. Just it should be like a normal children's book. Okay, and last, I want to direct your attention to the last page of the document. This is where your rubric is. So if you scroll down, you'll see that your final exam is worth a total of 39 points with those options for extra credit. Your final exam does count as 20% of your grade though. So you have a really good opportunity to make a pretty big impact on your grade. So if you're not happy with where your grade is now, remember this can only improve it. So doing a really great job and following this rubric really gives you a good opportunity to improve your grade. So for the rubric, I'm not going to read the whole thing with you, but when you look at it yourself, you always want to focus on that first column here, the 3-point column, because that's telling you, you know, what we're looking for. So the main character, the biological concept, the dialogue that's occurring. And then I want you to notice that that biological concept you're choosing, whatever it is, photosynthesis, populations, human impact, whatever you're choosing, it is worth double points. So you really want to make sure you're putting in those 3 to 4 accurate details with whichever topic you're choosing, those 3 to 4 accurate vocabulary words with whatever topic you're choosing. Okay, here's the middle of your story, the conclusion, and then of course some points for the story flow. How the facts in the story kind of flowed together. Did it all make sense? Did it sound like a children's story or did it sound like a biology textbook? The pictures were meaningful. It added to the story. The book, the video flowed well. The dialogue made sense. There was a clear introduction, middle, and a conclusion. And then, of course, creativity. The story was super creative. We could tell that you put a lot of time and thought into the dialogue between the characters, etc. Okay, and the last thing I wanted to show you is what's available for you in Schoology for your final exam. So you could see I'm in your Schoology course right here, and now there is a black folder that looks like this. It says second semester final exam materials. So I'm just going to open that up and show you what's inside. So here's that document we talked about that I just went through with you. So this is a PDF file. I would download this and put it in Notability. It has all the requirements, the guidelines I just went through, and all the rubrics. I mentioned having access to the Quizlet sets all in one place. So if you open this, you're going to have the links to the Quizlet sets for all the different units. So if you're kind of not sure you remember the vocabulary words from certain units, this would be a great place to go. So maybe you know you want to make a ecology themed children's book, but you're not sure you remember the vocabulary words. You just click this link. It'll take you to that set of Quizlet words. So you have a nice, easy resource to pick a few words to put in your story. Okay, so those are all here for you. Going back to your folder, you also have a purple folder that says example stories and readings. So we have one called the Blue-Footed Booby. This is actually a bird with blue feet, and it's a really cute children's book that was written by a former biology student. I will be careful when you're watching this. It's a very cute story. However, this was before we made the requirement of vocabulary words. So this book does not have as many evolution vocabulary words as you would need to have. This is a Prickly Hairs book. This is actually my example. So you can check that out. I read both of those stories to you. And this is a online children's story about the peppered moth. And then here's those two links we already talked about. So these are all great examples of children's stories that are centered around some biological concept. So those are available for you to watch. It might be a little good inspiration to start watching those. And then the last thing is the assignment submission. This is where you're going to submit your assignment. You can see that your assignment is due on the day of your final, which for you guys, period 7, is Thursday, May 21st at 10 a.m. So I hope this helps. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to email me. We will do a Google Meet next week, and you can ask me all your questions that you have on this process. Okay, I will talk to you guys later.